Imagine turning this into this with just your camera, some AI magic, and a few clicks. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to do it, how much I net profit made from the shoot, and how much time it took me. Let's get into it. If you've ever walked into a vacant property, you know how lifeless it can feel in person, and on camera, well, it kind of exaggerates that stagnation deep in your soul.
Buyers struggle to picture themselves there, and that causes properties to sit longer on the market.
Shoot an empty house, virtually stage it, then turn that photo into a cinematic video tour that sells the space. Bonus here, I'll actually be timing myself the entire time to see exactly how long it takes me to do each task so we can turn that net profit number into a generalized dollar amount per hour you can make offering these upsells. The first step is simple but critical. The way you shoot the vacant property determines how well your AI staging and later AI video will work. I think I may have missed some stuff in this house. Keep my camera height consistent, right above doorknob level, around 3 foot high, a little bit over. The only time I change this up is when I'm in kitchens where I raise it to not show under the cabinets, or bathrooms so I can just barely see into the sink. I cover those in other videos as well. I stick with a wide focal length, somewhere between 13 and 16 millimeters on a full frame system, so that makes the room feel super spacious because that's what agents want, and it works best in the video conversion software later. Just finished on all the outside, so I am done with all the main pictures. Let's pull this out and see what time we're at. It is, boom, 24:47. That's how long it took me to shoot this house in the high-end style for the We Got Editors team. If you want it to look like a more natural video, leave the windows a little bit blown out in your edits. And if you want it to look better than your actual video camera does on site most times, make sure those windows aren't blown out. It's all personal preference of style there. Think of it this way. AI is only as good as the photos you feed it.
Well, I'll talk about this a little bit later on in the video, but most of my agents want these delivered in a vertical format. And that's a big win for me because that's another upsell or add-on that I can give to the same client. Now I'm going to take an additional 10 to 15 vertical images on site for this in particular.
Reinforcing my logic that it's easier to upsell valuable products to your high volume current client base than it is to just find more average clients. Just something to think about. Now, not including drive time to each property, these are the shooting times. All right, regular on-site photography package took me 53 minutes and 37 seconds between the two properties. Future me here, this takes me no time, but there is the time associated with waiting overnight to come back. I'll not be factoring this time into the overall equation because this is a standard wait time in the industry currently, and I will instead be paying for this time with physical money in the form of editors, and I'll take that out of the grand total when I total up everything in the end profit. Thank you. Vertical image add-on, 28 minutes, 44 seconds. That brings a grand total of time spent photographing both properties to 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 21 seconds, I think. I might be off a few seconds or so. Whatever, right? I'm also in the process of testing a few AI editors for real estate, and if I find any that I like or feel consistent enough to recommend here, I will definitely let you know in the future. But until then, I'm obviously going to keep using WeGotEditors.com to use all of my images per usual.
I am all done with the culling and exporting process. I just have to upload them and wait for We Got Editors to edit everything before I go on to the next process. So here we go. Boom. Oh, just show you it's running. 12:50. So 12:52. That's how many 12 minutes and 52 seconds is how long I've been working back at home on this before sending them off to the editing team.
Once I have my stills back, time to stage them. And I use virtualstaging.ai for this. Done a lot of videos in the past. You just kind of upload the image, pick your style, and it automatically fills the space with realistic furniture. Here's the thing though, don't just pick what you like. Match the style to what's popular in your market and the property you are shooting itself. For example, if your buyers lean towards farmhouse style, a sleek, ultra-modern look might actually turn them off. Also, avoid overstaging. If the room starts looking like a furniture showroom, it can feel fake and actually hurt the listing's credibility also. The reason I like virtualstaging.ai so much is because they automatically start you with 3 options from the first stage, and if you don't like those, it costs you nothing to continually stage more room styles or renders.
All right, y'all. I'm still working. As you can see, I've got some images up on the screen that I'm working with, but I gotta pause this. My dog needs to go on a walk. Just being on the up and up. Pause. Boom. I'll be back.
I've rendered like 20 options until I found the exact setup I like and only get charged for that very first initial upload. They're also in beta of doing multiple views of the same room, but it's still pretty hit or miss in my opinion. Overall, the #1 AI integration I've made for my company to help keep money in-house over outsourced editors, because the price works out to be about 20% of what I used to pay. If you're interested in testing out, there's an affiliate code below to not only help support this channel, but also get you the largest discount they're currently offering. A few things to keep in mind here. Match local buyer preferences. Keep scale realistic of the furniture. Avoid looking cluttered. And don't be afraid to restage multiple times. All right, let's talk time here. This took me 29 minutes and 16 seconds to VR stage both properties. Future me here. Again, this is the time it took me to stage the horizontal and vertical images for both properties. It was a total of 29 images virtually staged, if that helps. But I didn't mention it here, but I'll also be including the time it took me to cull my images in Lightroom, which was this amount of time, and the time to upload everything to Ario, which was this amount of time. Thank you. Again. Now for the fun part. Making these stills move. Or making your movie, right? I take my staged images into AutoReel, and in just a few clips, it creates smooth pans and zooms that I feel kind of like a professional walkthrough. How long did it take me to do the whole process for one property? Well, that depends. If you want to create a traditional horizontal video, then it takes you no extra time on site because you've already taken those images. But from my experience, this is a product most agents want you to deliver in a vertical format. So if that's your go-to scenario as well, then go ahead and add about 18 minutes for shooting, 5 to 6 minutes for virtual staging, and 13 minutes to create the video and post-production, including the render time. That was a lot to say, right? Why do I use AutoReel in particular? Because it's an extremely easy process that requires very little work from me. Automated add-on is the easiest way to expand the income you make from the clientele you already have without feeling pushy. It does have its own pros and cons with the software itself, and I go over this in a past video, but they also just released their new Studio Edition and the ability to push your video image count up to 15 from the previous 10. So I'm kind of in the process of revamping that entire video. So pressing that bell on the channel will definitely keep you updated for that one when it drops. Again, you want to support the work I do and steady testing on this channel and get yourself a discount to try it out. You can find that affiliate link in the description below, as well as the others. Overall time here, because of a few issues that were entirely my fault.
All right, y'all, as you can see on my screen, I have a few iterations of this one because I messed up multiple times. First, I forgot to click it into portrait mode from landscape mode. Then I did it again and forgot to put the back image on. So now I'm doing it one more time. Hopefully I remember to do it all right. This is just a check or a reminder to you to make sure you double check everything before you proceed on to the next step to save yourself both time and money. We're still rolling. Let's see where we end up.
It took me 9 minutes and 53 seconds to upload everything. Do title and branding stuff, but that does not include the render time for each specific render that I did because a lot of those were my own fault. Here's why this works so well. Buyers are emotional. When they see an empty room, they see 4 walls. They tend to lack the creative vision of how a space can look. When they see it staged, even virtually, they see a lifestyle, maybe one that's not their own. Staged homes sell faster and can even bring in higher offers, but it's extremely expensive for agents. Now, we can deliver that same effect without retaining a single piece of furniture and saving them a lot of money while also increasing our average client spend. Both parties win here.
And here's the kicker. These two properties, shooting them with the vertical add-on, staging them, delivering the final videos, it brought in over $800 of net profit for me. After paying all the costs of operations and taxes, that's what my company put in the bank, making these two small, basic, vacant properties look better and honestly sell faster. Overall time spent on site was 1 hour and 22 minutes and 21 seconds. Overall time spent processing was 1 hour and 4 minutes and 53 seconds. If you add that all together, that's about 2 hours, 27 minutes and 14 seconds. So let's round that up to an even 2 hours and 30 minutes, not including drive time and background processing times. That basically brings my hourly wage to $320 an hour if you want to be that clinical about it.
On top of that, the creative satisfaction of transforming a space from nothing to something buyers get excited about, that might be the best part. Nah, money is. The tools I just showed you are available to anyone. Not giant studios, not big teams like mine, just the right workflow. All right, before we get to the final part of this video, I just want to be extremely real with you for a moment, because most creators out there, they're not telling you the reality of the situation. These numbers do not include the countless hours and marketing dollars I've spent pushing my company forward and growing these clients. You don't just go out there one day and get 10 clients like these. You work really hard on acquiring them as your, or to be their, go-to photographer. If you're under the impression that real estate photography is an easier side hustle than portrait photography, let me be very clear with you and say that is not the case. It is much easier to find a random person to photograph at a discounted rate than it is to market yourself in the real estate industry where exacting perfection is all that's accepted. I should know. I've done both. This industry is extremely specific about what they want, how much they're willing to spend on that, and determine what works in your market for what price. If you're looking for someone who's going to blow smoke up your ass and tell you that anyone can do this, you can find that all over YouTube. That ain't me. You want someone who's going to continually give you the facts as they are and be extremely real with you as a viewer, think about hitting that like and subscribe button down below for more of it. If you want to try the exact tools I use today again, I'll reference the links in the description. Using those links helps support this channel, and it also your shortcut to adding the skills to your own real estate marketing. If you're interested in supporting this channel further, I have a members platform here on YouTube that gets you lots of behind the scenes edits, but don't feel obligated if you don't have the money. Honestly, I prefer it if you just checked out Zimmer's Coffee, where we sell the best and purest forms of unadulterated Turkish ground coffee. No crazy spice blend to cover up those natural coffee flavors. Just pure, perfectly ground coffee delivered straight to your door, 4 ounces at a time. I'm Jeremy Deal, and thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Oh yeah, and YouTube seems to think you'll like this video next, so maybe check it out next if you have the time.